So what you can expect from Emily is something that is, of course, upbeat and informative and inspiring. It's going to be an incredible presentation, and it's all designed to help you move in a powerful direction, which I love. You're also going to have tasks, like immediately implementable tasks, which is really great, because when you come on to a webinar and you take some time out of your life, you want to walk away feeling like, all right, I learned some stuff that I can start to apply right away. And Emily's going to do that for you guys, which is wicked cool. And then also you're going to hear a little bit about her community of like-minded women who, I'm telling you, you guys are going to want to be a part of this tribe. So again, if you haven't already, download the Midlife Redefine guide. I put the link in the chat box. So I would love for you guys to do that. Hi, Lori West, and hi, Megan. Good to have you join us. So if you will, open up the chat box and let us know where you are joining us from. That would be fantastic. And so I'm going to, again, I'm going to post right here the link to download the free guide. And I'd love to have you guys go and download that before Emily joins us. And then that way you'll have everything you need to follow along. Hi, Megan. Oh, Megan or Megan. Megan. I'll go with Megan. Fingers crossed. Coming in from Central Florida. Oh, and Lori from Midland, Texas. Yeah, you guys representing the whole country showing up. I love that. So you guys, if you haven't already, all right, Elizabeth's from New Hampshire. If you can't tell, I'm originally from Massachusetts. But I live in New Hampshire now. But, you know, Massachusetts for life. You can hear it. I can't help it. Boston accent. Oh, all right, you guys, if you haven't already, go download this free guide. I put the link there. And here's the thing. You guys, you want to do that. And then also, there's going to be a little contest, which is wicked fun. So as Emily is doing the presentation, as she's walking you through, you know, the information and the insights and all the stuff, whoever is posting in the chat box. So we want to hear what your greatest takeaways are, maybe what some aha moments are, some little things that make you think a little different and go, oh my God, like I didn't even think of that. That's amazing, right? So if you share in the chat box your biggest takeaways and your aha moments, Emily's going to pick some winners. So just by participating, right? Just by participating, you have a chance to win something, which is really, really fun. I love it. And Emily will be choosing those people. I don't get to pick. So you can't bribe me or anything, you guys. Originally from Long Island, and people have always made fun of my accent, but you have me beat. Megan, I was just talking to a friend. Actually, yeah, I was just talking to a friend earlier about a girlfriend that I had who, when I went to Boston University, and when I went to BU, I was like a kid from Lawrence, Mass. And all of a sudden I met all these people from New York with all these Long Island accents. I probably didn't do that justice. But yeah, I have a pretty hardcore Boston accent. Oh, Barbara, yeah, BU in the house. Hi, Carrie from Epsom. Carrie, I used to have a yoga studio in Epsom, New Hampshire. Way back in the day, like 2003, I opened up my yoga studio right off the traffic circle in Epsom. So you might know where that is. Yeah, Barbara, this is fantastic. So you guys, here's the deal. Comment in the chat box where you're from. Hi, Dee. Hi, Elena. So good to see you. Hi, Jill. Oh, another Karen. Hi, Karen. Hi, Katie. Linnea Cooley. I'm going to go with Linnea and see what happens there. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Ray Beth. Hi, Sean and Stephanie B and Trisha. You guys are piling in here. I love it. Wendy Houston. So what we're doing, you guys, is we're making friends over here in the chat box. So go to the bottom of your screen, hit the chat little symbol, head on over to the chat box, and let people know where you're from, where you're tuning in from. Also, make sure you go and download the downloadable free guide, the 6 Simple Steps. I put the link in there. Here, I'll drop it in here again so you have it. Okay? Make sure you are commenting in the chat box all throughout this about your greatest takeaways, your aha moments, because we're having a little contest. And here's the other thing, you guys. if you stay on to the very end, there's going to be an awesome bonus. So it's a stay on bonus. So make sure you stay. Hi from Epping, New Hampshire, Ray Beth. Great to see you. Hi, Katie from Salem. Hi, Cindy from Colorado. I love you guys. This is so much fun. This is fantastic. Originally from Long Island too, and now in the southern Maine area, Elena. Wonderful. Hi, Deb from Laconia. So yeah, this is going to be a stay on bonus. And listen, you guys, this bonus is called this: how to increase your confidence, happiness from the inside out. Who doesn't want to be able to immediately feel more self-confident? Not a person that I know on the planet wouldn't say like, yeah, I want that. I want to feel more self-confident. So stay on to the very end to make sure that you get the bonus. So don't leave. Hang out with us for a while. It's going to be wicked fun. First of all, it's going to be wicked fun, and it's going to be informative, and you're making friends. What more could you want? Melissa from Westerville, Ohio, originally from Michigan. Fantastic. And Wendy from Boscawen. Hi, you guys. There's a bunch of you on here. I love it. I'm going to scroll back up, see if anybody else has come in. Hi, CK. Wonderful to see you. Hopefully I haven't gotten, oh, Katie with an E and a double O-O-O. I love it. I think Martha, good to see you. Oh, Melissa. Oh boy, Melissa. I don't know what that last name, if I can do it. Jaskowitz, maybe? Fingers crossed. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Fantastic, you guys. Sapena, lovely. I love it. All right, I'm going to repeat these one more time. Oh, also, no, you guys, this is actually live. You know how sometimes you're watching a webinar and you're like, is this live or is it not live? I have a sneaky suspicion it's recorded. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, pinky swear, tonight with Emily is live, and you'll be able to ask questions at the end. So if you have a question that comes up during the presentation, just drop it in the chat box. I'll be doing my best to keep my eyes on it. And I know Emily's also, we're going to look there also to be trying to find, you know, any questions that come up while we're doing this.
Karen,
so
you are so good.
Oh, thank you. I'm having so much fun. These guys are great. They're coming in from all over the place. Michigan and Fort Worth, Texas, and Boscawen, and Ohio, and New Hampshire, and Colorado.
So what was the show when you and I were little, when she had the mirror and she's like, and I
see. The Romper Room.
Romper Room.
And she'd be like this. She'd be like, and I see, I was always waiting for my name to be called. So you guys, this is your beautiful host, Emily Clement. And I know Emily, but I always like to, so I'll say some nice things about her personally, but let me just read the official bio so you know why is Emily leading this thing? Like, who is she and why does she have the mic? Okay. So Emily is a soul searching joy creator. She really is. And she has she has such a huge passion for helping other people, especially women, to shine. She earned a teaching certificate and a BA in psychology from Wheaton College and a master's of education in counseling from Plymouth State. So she's kind of a smarty pants. Okay. She's also taught and traveled all over the planet. Like when I read these, I was like, oh my God, from Alaska to Istanbul, and from I think it's the United States Virgin Islands, all the way to the Czech Republic. She's a certified life coach, and she's integrated her favorite elements from every professional position she's ever had. That's the beautiful thing. Emily invites all parts of herself to the party. So there's no parts that get abandoned. She integrates it all, and you guys get to benefit from that, from her teaching, from counseling, from speaking, from meeting new people, and for always affecting positive change. Emily is just, she's not only an expert and an authority, all that's wonderful, right? I always say that's great, but she's also an incredible human being. She loves she's a helper. You know when Mr. Rogers says, when times are tough, and times are pretty tough right now, look for the help is. His mom taught him that. Emily is a bona fide one of the help is. And so I'm just so happy to be here. Emily, thank you for letting me be a part of it and introduce you. And I'm going to turn it over to you. Have a ball, and I'll be keeping an eye on the chat box for you when we circle back for that Q&A. Awesome. And you guys, remember, stay on for the bonus at the end. And also there's a bonus for people who are dropping comments and ahas and wins in the comment chat box too. Okay, you guys, have fun. Bye.
Awesome. I'll see you soon, Karen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I had to ask Karen to help me with the reading comments because I'm not particularly gifted at the multitasking when it comes to technology. But anyway, I am super thrilled you're here. I'm so pleased that you're taking time out of your evening to be here right now, because from my perspective, this global shift is a beautiful invitation for us to start to get clear about who we are, what we value, and how we're going to show up once we start to reintegrate into our families and communities and places of work. So if not now, then when? I mean, legitimately, if not now, then when? I might go a little woo-woo life coachy on you, but stay with me, stay with me. So from my very, very core, I believe that we have, stay with me, hold on, that we have manifested this global pandemic. And when I say that, it's because I have this powerful belief personally and professionally that so many of us have been shouting, I cannot live like this anymore. I'm overscheduled. I'm maintaining relationships with people who aren't important. I don't even know myself. I'm overstimulated. My kids are overstimulated. I'm barely making ends meet, whatever it is. And we've just picked up so much momentum that there are enough people on the planet shouting like, stop, I cannot live like this anymore. And this universal life energy is like, oh, what is this that you want? All right, then go to your rooms and think about what you've done. And when you are ready to reintegrate into community and society, how do you want to show up? So personally, I think this is a beautiful gift for all of us, that we get this time and attention for and with ourselves and all the other things that are going on. We're really, really taking a close look at who we are. And I love it. I love it. So I am Emily Clement. I am the founder and facilitator of Midlife Redefine, a membership community for women. And I am going to, let's just see here. Nope, forget that. Sorry, I can't. See, that's what I'm talking about with the, sorry, screen share. Not going to happen right this very second. So I am Emily Clement, the founder and facilitator of Midlife Redefine, a phenomenal membership community for women at a pivot point. And this membership, this community started last summer, and it continues to pick up momentum. But before we even get there, I just want to invite you to start to think big picture. So this is what we're going to do tonight. Think big picture, global perspective, human behavior, and then I want to zoom in and I want you to look at your own life experiences and the decisions that you're making, and then we're going to zoom back out to see that, to make sure that all of that is aligned. You dig? I dig. So here we are. My core, from my very core, I believe that you, my dear, can have, do, be, give, and create anything you desire. Do you know what your greatest obstacle is? Come on, put it in the comments. You know your greatest obstacle. Your greatest obstacle to having it all is you. And what happens, yep, me, thank you, Carrie. So I love that. So myself, yep, me, Wendy Houston, yep, Shannon, Elena, you know. And so what happens is we have these habitual thoughts and beliefs about ourselves and the world around us, and they are so deeply ingrained that we don't question them. So these paradigms, these habitual thoughts and beliefs, they're effortless for us to think about, because we think one thought and it leads to the next and the next and the next, and we have created these usually unhelpful patterns, these thought patterns that are keeping us small and stuck. So as a human, we have been gifted with freedom and free will and choice. So we are capable of changing our thoughts, of changing our behaviors, of changing our feelings, but we don't do that because we slide right back into default mode. And so when you think about living in default, right? Yesterday looks just like tomorrow. You're going through the motions, you're getting through the day, you're going to bed, you're waking up the next day, and you're doing the same thing over again. To me, that sounds miserable. So the invitation is always to shift from living a life by default, where yesterday looks just like tomorrow, to a life by design. And that is when you are getting clear and specific about, what do you want? What would you love? What are your greatest desires? And to dovetail that is that we are powerfully gifted at identifying our problems. why it's not fair and the time isn't right and I'm not educated enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not pretty enough, I don't know the right people. And so we're so hyper focused on our problems that all we see is more problems and more problems. So the invitation is to look for the solutions. So you can hear that. You're living a life by default. Yesterday looks just like tomorrow. We want to shift to a life by design, that you are defining what it is that you would love. Instead of focusing on your problems, which we're very gifted at doing, it's about shifting to solutions. What do you want? What would you love? What excites you? What inspires you? What do you want more of? So that's where we want to spend our time and attention. And because I love a good analogy, what I like to think about is our comfort zone, right? In our comfort zone, you live there. They're like your favorite pair of sweatpants. And so you're inside your comfort zone, right? It is predictable and routine, and you know what to expect and when to expect it and from whom to expect it, and you don't have to take any risks or chances. So I like to imagine your comfort zone is like holding a hula hoop around your waist. So when you're holding I don't know how big a hula hoop is, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. So if you are holding a hula hoop around your waist, inside that hula hoop is your comfort zone. And it is nice. It's beautifully comfortable. It is your favorite pair of sweatpants. But the fact is, the whole wide world is out there. And when you think about all the options and opportunities that exist, it's already here on this planet. Every dollar, every minute, every person, every physical resource, every opportunity, it already exists. You don't have to do anything. It's already here. But the problem is that we're looking inside of our comfort zone. We're looking at inside our immediate vision to make decisions. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. It's been hard to plan through the pandemic. I get it. So inside, I'm looking at my immediate vision and I'm saying I could do this and I could do this. Super, super faulty. So you want to pick your head up. Unlimited creativity, unlimited opportunity exists on this planet. And so it seems pretty condescending, and I don't mean it to be condescending, but if you want something you've never had, you need to do something you've never done. And so what happens then is that we need to start to flirt with the edges of our comfort zone, do the things that are beyond the comfortable and familiar, so that we can start to create a life that feels good and alive and productive and purposeful. It's all possible, right? It's all possible. So that's one of our sticking points. So we create this magnificent dream of what we would love for ourselves, and then what stops us from living it. And a lot of it is being in our comfort zone. Another thing that I do when I'm leading workshops, when I'm working with clients, when we're in the membership, is that there are certain themes that are recurring that we want to acknowledge so that we can move beyond them. So these obstacles, these blocks, is that sometimes we need to increase our sense of deserving. That we believe everybody else is worthy, and we're probably the greatest cheerleaders in the history of the world for our family and friends. But what happens is that we don't believe that we deserve all that goodness. So how is it that we can start viewing ourselves as worthy for all the wonderful things that we desire? Another thing, oh, nice. Elena's ready to step out and start enjoying life. I love it. But what do I want? That's the thing. Is we are pretty gifted at making sure everybody else's needs are being met. And then we have a hard time. We struggle with just defining, what do I want? Who am I? What makes me happy? So thinking about that is, so you want to increase your sense of deserving. And another thing that tends to hold us back is that we are resentful. And what we need to do is start practicing forgiveness. And sometimes practicing forgiveness feels so overwhelming that we can't get there, because that person doesn't deserve our forgiveness, or they did something that is not worthy of forgiving. But instead of thinking about it as doing it for them, you want to practice forgiveness for yourself. That will free you of those toxic feelings and emotions. That will free you of the resentment. So in order to start to let go of that resentment, we need to backpedal and start by practicing compassion. So practicing compassion will lead to lightening the resentment, which can lead to practicing forgiveness. And again, it's not for the other person, the person who wronged you, it is for you. They say that holding on to resentment is like taking the rat poisoning, hoping that the rat will die. Not the way it works. You want to get rid of that stuff. That is all for you. And the other thing we want to do is identify our fears. I like to actually identify and then befriend our fears, because once you start to befriend your fears, they're not so scary, really. So instead of fear having a hold on you, you have a hold on your fear, and it shifts the power, which is pretty remarkable. And if you strip away all the stories and the details and the he said, she said, and the thoughts and the feelings, there are really only 4 fears in the whole wide world. It's not snakes, nope, not the dark. Fear of not getting what you want, fear of losing what you have, fear of other people's opinions, and fear of being found out, which we now call imposter syndrome. So I don't know, you tell me, any of those fears resonate with you? Do any of those fears resonate? Fear of not getting what you want, losing what you have, other people's opinions, and being found out. So those are some of the reasons why we're not stretching beyond our comfort zone. We're not flirting with the edges and getting outside of our hula hoop, because it's fear that keeps us small and stuck. It's really pretty powerful. Another thing we want to do is start to rely on our intuition. You want to rely on your intuition. So your intuition, if you think about it as your heart space, or you think of it as a gut reaction, and sometimes our intuition, it's just a knowing. Not logical, it's not rational, it's just a knowing that we can feel with our body. And what happens is that we'll get like a little intuitive nudge to do something or say something or call somebody. And what happens is we pay attention to our intuition. It's magical, because then your friend says, I was just thinking about you, because you had that intuitive connection. But what tends to happen is we got this voice in our head, our thinking, that keeps us small and stuck. And so that thinking is saying, no, that's not a good idea. You don't need to call that person. She's probably busy. Or maybe your intuition is saying, I'm going to grab an umbrella, even though there's no cause for rain. And then it pours rain and you say, shoot, I should have paid attention. I knew that I should have grabbed my umbrella. It's a silly example, but you get the gist of it, is that we're getting these nudges of intuition that we are quick to dismiss because our logical, rational brain convinces ourselves to do something different, to go against it. One of my clients, she calls that voice in her head that's always like, don't do that, don't say that, or super critical of her, that nobody likes you, you're not right, your opinion doesn't matter, you can't do that, don't even bother. She calls that collective voice in her head the itty bitty shitty committee. And that itty bitty shitty committee is keeping her small and stuck and in place, instead of doing the creative, expansive things that we truly desire. Dee likes that. Dee is going to use that again, the itty bitty shitty committee. It's crazy stuff. So what we want to do is start to befriend our fear, right? And pay attention to our intuition and increase our sense of deserving. And the other big thing that I see happen all the time, and I'm sure it happens with men also, but I will tell you, I work mostly with women, and I am a woman. So there's this understanding that we give away our power really quickly. And so when I say give away our power, it's very subtle. In a day-to-day, just imagine a day-to-day way. I'm a business owner, right? I'm a one-woman show with my coaching business. And my inbox is a list of somebody else's agenda. So as soon as I get a bing or a ding or whatever it is, some sort of notification, same thing with social media, if I'm doing something that I was intentional and deliberate about doing, and then something distracts me, I've lost my power, and I've given my power to my inbox or to social media or to whomever or whatever. So what we want to do is be super clear about who we are and what we desire, and then keep our eyes on the prize instead of giving away that power. Those are tiny day-to-day examples. There are more powerful examples in your own life that you can think about, that you had leftovers, but someone in your house really, really wanted them, but you really, really wanted them, and then you gave away your leftovers. Like, these are silly examples, but it just starts to get you thinking about how quickly it is that we're willing to accommodate other people. We don't want anyone to wait. We want there to be peace. We want everyone to be happy. So we sacrifice our own time and attention and resources to meet the needs of other people. See where this is going? The people-pleasing thing. You did it today. Laurel did it today. So this is what we do, though, is we give away our power. And the people-pleasing is tricky. I mean, all of this combined can be really challenging. So instead, you want to own your power. Totally own it. And I even think about, like, us as if you're a head of household or in your job or whatever it is. I mean, we're in such wonky times right now, and we don't have a new normal. We have definitely not established a new normal yet. I mean, quite honestly, it could take years, but definitely months. But thinking about you as the thermometer versus the, you as the thermostat versus the thermometer. You are climate control. So I'll give you an example. When I was a classroom teacher, I was a classroom teacher for years. I am the thermostat. I control the climate in my classroom. And I knew that the climate in my classroom was going to be productive, was always going to be fun, be organized, extremely safe. The kids would know what to expect when they got there. It would be calm and peaceful. We would take turns talking, but it would be silly and fun. And so that is the thermostat, right? I set the climate of my classroom. This is an important detail for this. I taught in an all-boys middle school. I taught at Cardigan Mountain School up in Canaan, New Hampshire for several years, and I lived in the dorm room and coached ice hockey and taught a full load of classes and ate all my meals in the dining hall with the boys. So I am the thermostat. I'm setting the climate for my classroom. Can you imagine if I was the thermometer, walking in and seeing what a classroom full of 7th and 8th grade boys were doing or thinking or feeling, and then I just slide in and do whatever they're doing? That would be the thermometer, right? No, I'm not giving away my power. I'm driving the bus. I'm always driving the bus in the classroom. So instead, it's about, how do I want to show up? How do I want to be intentional about how I present myself? But that also, what do I want this environment to look and feel like? So if you generalize that to your own home, and I don't know if you live alone or you have a spouse or children or grandparents or puppies or kittens, whatever it is, however you live, you want to think about that your responsibility, you want to own your power. What do you want that living environment to look and feel like? And then you want to set the climate to do that. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So I am going to try very hard to screen share. I almost feel like this is a bad idea, but I'm so willing to try. Did I do it? This is awesome. Okay, so here we are. Define your extraordinary midlife. Okay, this is the one I couldn't find earlier, but this is Shift Happens. So this is a summary of the opening of this webinar right now. Shift happens. I want you to shift from living a life by default to a life by design. Yesterday looks just like tomorrow, to that you are getting creative in deciding what you want your life to look like. What I want you to do is to shift from focusing on your problems to your solutions. And that also from giving away your power to owning it. Does that make sense to you? I hope so. Perfect. Yes, it makes sense. Thank you, Ray Beth. Yes, D. Shannon, amen. I did it. Actually, I probably have pit stains. I am no good at the technology and definitely not under pressure. So thank you for being patient. Perfect. So that's like just a quick little excerpt, the summary of how we're getting started right now. The other thing for an extraordinary life, this is the big stuff, is I want you to start asking bigger questions. And everything, like I think about everything as on a spectrum, and fear is at one end and faith is on the other. Fear is at one end, love is on the other. Every decision that you make is coming from a place of fear or love. All of it, all of it. And sometimes it's masked as love, but it's really fear. People pleasing, that is not love. That is fear. I want to be accepted. I want to be appreciated. I want to be validated. That's people pleasing. If you're doing something out of genuine love and compassion and interest, that's not people pleasing. That's doing something out of love. So there's a fine line that you just want to be aware of that balance for sure. So you thinking about wanting an extraordinary life, you want to ask those big, creative, expansive questions. What we tend to do is ask small, fear-based questions that keep us small and stuck. So again, you want to ask the bigger questions. The easiest example is about money. So if I'm asking a small fear-based question, I might ask, how am I going to pay my bills this month? I'm so overwhelmed. How am I going to pay my bills this month? This is so tricky. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so there's no room for movement, and you're coming from that place of scarcity and lack. But what if you asked a different question about money? And this is a legitimate, very legitimate example in my own life. So instead of asking small fear-based questions about money, I'm going to ask a different question about money. How can I live in the Caribbean next winter and make $50,000 while I'm there? Right? Both questions are about money, but if I'm coming from scarcity and lack, I'm not going to be able to problem solve or brainstorm or start to think about solutions. But now I'm asking that bigger question. So I'm really asking myself, how can I live in the Caribbean next winter and make $50,000 while I'm there? Now I'm starting to think, well, I actually did live in the Caribbean. I lived in the US Virgin Islands, on the island of St. Thomas, during my roaring 20s. Drank my face off. I don't drink anymore, but I got a lifetime right there in that when I lived in St. Thomas. So thinking about that, so if I did want to live in the Caribbean, I wonder if I could call old friends of mine that we used to teach together, and I wonder if I could rent a room in their house. That's a possibility. I wonder if I could do workshops at the Ritz-Carlton or at some of the all-inclusive resorts. Now I'm thinking, all right, well, how many clients would I need to enroll to earn this money? How many people would I need in my membership to earn this money? How many products or services do I need to sell to earn this money? So now I'm starting to actually brainstorm because I'm asking a different question. So when you're coming from scarcity and lack, you are not going to have many options and opportunities for creativity. But if you ask those bigger, more expansive questions, then you can start to brainstorm and problem solve. Like, what am I going to do if my kids are homeschooled in the fall? Like, what are all the options? Like, if it were possible to do something creative and different and joyful, what would it look like or feel like? If it were possible to teach some sort of curriculum that my children and I both enjoy, what might be the resources? If it were possible, the truth is, and you want to be filling those statements so that you have more opportunity. This is good. Thanks, Dee. Can I please put the slide back? Are you kidding me? Old dog. I will put the old slide back. And then, but hold on. I will do that in 1 second. Sorry, I heard you. I see you. I will do that, but I can't multitask quite yet. So the other thing that we want to do is asking those bigger questions is we also want to improve our emotional state. And this is one of those funny things that we're quick to dismiss it because we have a belief that our extraordinary life is the stuff and things. Let me just call bullshit right now. It is not the stuff and things. It's not your status. It's not your level of education. It's not those cute shoes. None of that. An extraordinary life is a direct reflection of your emotional state. Think about people in your life who you adore the most. Chances are good they're practicing gratitude. They see you, they hear you, they respect you, they ask questions about you, they love you unconditionally, and it's mutual, right? Their extraordinary life isn't about the other things. So what we want to do is move up the emotional scale. So if you think about moving up the emotional scale or down the emotional scale, I'm going to get a little woo-woo life coachy for a minute. All living things are pure energy. You know this from elementary school science class. All living things are pure energy. We humans are pure energy. And so we are vibrating, those atoms are buzzing around, we are vibrating. And so what happens is when we are experiencing feelings of love, joy, compassion, fun, community, we are at a high vibe. High vibe became very trendy. I don't know if TJ Maxx or Home Goods or some t-shirt company. Good vibes only, high vibes only. We don't want to make it superficial, but you do want to be aware that if you are moving up the emotional scale and you are feeling more joyful and happy and whole and purposeful and productive, that you are at a high vibration, and that is the emotional state that we're all moving toward. The other end of that is that if you are experiencing, you can't see my hand, but I'm going way low here. If you are experiencing feelings of insecurity, worry, doubt, rage, fear, embarrassment, then you are at a very low vibration. So if you want an extraordinary life, it's about raising your emotional state, moving in a powerful direction to improve your emotional state. It's good stuff. And then finally, that extraordinary life, you want to surround yourself with people who inspire and excite you. I'm not sure if you know about Jim Rohn's, he was a teacher and author and speaker. His work that you, my dear, you, specifically you, all of us are you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Income, education, sense of humor, political affiliation, the type of car you drive, all of the things. So if you want to just take a peek at your tribe, if they're not helping you move up the emotional scale, you might want to consider making some shifts and changes. You don't need to divorce all your friends that aren't high vibes only, but you definitely want to be aware that if you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, I'd be pretty intentional about who you're spending time with. There, I said it. And thinking about, I like to think of it as people of increase. And when I say people of increase, I'm talking about vibration. I don't mean status. I would never mean status. All right, so I'm going to go back to the screen share. Oh God, I'm sweating. There it is. There it is. I found it. Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is the previous slide that you asked me to put back up again, which was inevitable because I don't know how to move it forward quite yet. So this is the 3 things. This is the shifts that we're going to make, and I'm going to go to the next slide, which is a micro summary of an extraordinary life. You want to be asking better questions, those creative, expansive questions. You want to be improving your emotional state, and you most certainly want to be sharing time and attention with people of increase. And honest to God, this is exactly why I created the membership Midlife Redefine, because you self-select to join the membership in a way that you are seeking out people of increase, but you are becoming the person of increase. So magnificent. I love it. I love it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to boogie over to your free guide. So hopefully you've downloaded the free guide. If you didn't print it, that's fine. You can look on. And what I want to specifically do now is to look at the 5 stages of midlife. So the 5 stages of midlife are it's the handout that's right on the screen right now. And when I say this is the backbone of our membership community, this is what I mean. And this is the first step in our membership community all the time, is that you need to get a baseline of where you currently stand. No coulda, shoulda, woulda, no comparing yourself to other people. This is really just about you getting honest about where you currently stand. And naturally, in the membership, as a human, we are all moving towards stage 5, the power of alignment. But I would like to go through these stages somewhat quickly right now. So the power of awareness is the most tricky place to be. This is stage 1. And if there were a quote to summarize it, I am not happy. I find myself disappointed, anxious, and overwhelmed on a daily basis, but I don't know exactly why. Sometimes it feels like everyone else is living a great life and I'm not. I do a lot for other people so they'll appreciate me, but it's still not enough. Self-care, are you kidding? Who has time? So you can imagine this is a pretty painful place to be. And so I just want to share a quick story of one of my clients, Donna. And when Donna came to me, she was totally she was stage 1, right? So she came to me and she said that she just felt like she had lost her zest. She had lost her zhuzh. And she was coming home from work totally exhausted, eating junk food instead of preparing a healthy meal, scrolling through Facebook or playing one of the Candy Crush games, instead of organizing her home or cleaning or calling a friend. And she used to go to yoga once a week and stopped doing that because she felt so out of shape. She used to go visit friends for lunch, stopped doing that. And so she was in a rough place. And all she was doing, because she was on Facebook, fake book, is she was scrolling through fake book and she was seeing like, oh my gosh, everyone else has their shit together. And I'm like, can't even eat a vegetable at dinner time. And she was so frustrated and overwhelmed. This is your baseline. Donna did not stay there because we work together and she is in a beautiful, healthy space now. But this is you. I just want you to start to think about what stage currently resonates with you. We're moving on. Stage 2, the power of curiosity. The quote that would summarize this: I am looking for a better way to live. I don't know what would make me happy right now, but I am ready to find out. Can you hear the hope already? I've heard about manifestation and positive mindset working for other people. I wonder if they could work for me. I'm still worried people will judge me for wanting to change, but I know I need this. This is a fascinating time and place because obviously you're curious, so you know that you're looking for something better. The worried that people will judge me, this goes back to one of those core fears, is that you're afraid that, you know, that people will judge you, that you're still not good enough, that it is a cycle of nonsense. It's toxic nonsense. So we want to always drown out the noise of what other people are thinking or saying or feeling. Stay in your own lane. Do the things that would bring you the joy and the happiness. And instead of getting worried about, this is something I hear a lot. I'm worried that if I change too much, I'll outgrow my husband, best friend, sister, whatever it is that we're on the cusp of doing something really powerful and bold, but then we feel anxious that we're going to disappoint people. Just something to be aware of. We're going to keep moving. Stage 3, the power of vision. I love this stage. I feel like I bounce to stage 3 a lot. I am seeing a brighter future. My mindset has shifted from scarcity and lack, familiar, to creativity and abundance, double familiar. There is a future where I'm happier, more fulfilled, grateful, and joyful every day. I can see how making myself happy would make others around me happier too. I take responsibility for my feelings, good and bad, and I'm ready to do the work. Well, this is a magnificent place to be. Definitely a nice place to be, because you're starting to go all the things from default to design, from scarcity and lack to abundance, and it starts to feel good. Ashley, I'm going to make this a quick story because I love this story. It's a long one, but Ashley came to me. She was so frustrated and angry and pissed at her like fresh ex-husband. And they had an infant and a toddler, and she knew she was going to have to co-parent with him for a very long time, but she was holding on to so much resentment because he's a liar and a cheater and all the things. And every time she would tell her story to somebody, you know, girlfriends or whomever, friends, they'd be like, oh my God, he's such a dirtbag. So she was getting a lot of momentum playing this role of wanting people to take her side, which it was easy to take her side. But we needed to just start, but she didn't feel like she could get to forgiveness, but she did feel like she could start treating him with a little bit of compassion, which led to letting go of the resentment. So anyway, fast forward a year or two, she was ready to start dating. This is when the power of vision is so powerful, right? Thoughts become things. Everything is created twice. It is a thought before it's a thing. So Ashley sat down and made a list of her dream come true soulmate husband. And she listed tons of stuff on this list. Emotionally mature, financially responsible, has integrity, treats his mother with respect, which is key. You know, has hobbies, has friends on his own, but we do things together, all these things. And of course, she meets the man and she calls me and she's like, oh my gosh, Emily, he's everything on my list. To which I respond, no shit, this is why I do the work that I do. Don't be surprised. So they fall madly in love. She is so happy. And she has this belief that they met because of me. Nonsense. I'm not doing any of your heavy lifting. You want this creative, expansive, extraordinary life. I will hand you the invitation, but you are going to do all your own heavy lifting. So hold your hand and kick your ass at the same time. That's my superpower. So anyway, Ashley and Chris fall madly in love, and they invited me to officiate their wedding. last year, because it was just the journey. It was just such a beautiful journey. And so now Ashley can see, because she has real hard and fast evidence of her own life experience about what can happen when you're in that place of visioning, and that you don't have to be stuck in small forever, that you can transition into that. All right, we're moving along. So and now in stage 4. And in stage 4 is the power of intention. I'm choosing to create a life I love. Every day I'm making small choices toward my big vision. I try new things because I trust myself and my vision. Though I still get caught up in fear, doubt, and resentment, they no longer hold me back. I feel healthier, lighter, and better able to love myself and those around me. This is a good place to be, because you have created a vision for yourself. You're being intentional about what you want. And you know this. Fear and doubt, maybe even a little bit of resentment, does not go away. And this is what I said earlier. Instead of your fear having a hold on you, you have a hold on your fear. You need to befriend that fear, because it's not going away, but it doesn't have to control you. That's the good stuff. And then finally, I have so many stories, but I'm going to keep boogieing. Sorry. It's the stage 5, and this is the dream for all of us, the power of alignment. I am walking, talking, and living my truth. Can you hear that? There's no wobble. There's no wobble. Perfect alignment. My head, my heart, and my gut are aligned and all shouting, heck yes, on a daily basis. I wake up every day comfortable and confident in my own skin. I'm living with purpose, manifesting my desires. My family, friends, and coworkers, and even strangers can see that I'm happy, and they are all happy for me. I love and respect myself and understand that I am the creator of my reality. I have a lot to give in this lifetime, and I am just getting started. Holy smokes! That feels like a good place to be. And you know, I use the symbolism of alignment all the time. Your head, your heart, and your gut. Your head is your thinking. Your heart is your emotions, and your gut, think of it as your intuition. So when they are aligned, that's when opportunities present themselves that weren't there before, and people show up with exactly what you've been thinking about or desiring. And that some people call it ease or flow. Tony Robbins calls it being in state. Esther Hicks calls it the vortex. You know, that whatever it is, that you are in a place where there's no conflict. There's no incongruent thoughts and beliefs or thoughts and feelings. It is beautifully aligned. Think about when you're slap happy in love, the very beginning of a relationship. That's that feeling, right? And you say, oh, you're so cute, you're so funny, we just had the best time grocery shopping together, you're so funny. And like, it's genuine though, that you're in such beautiful alignment that you haven't heard the red flags yet. The please don't look at my phone, or the I can't tell you where I'm going or who I'm going out with. So that's the dream for all of us. So what we do in the membership, you identify your current baseline, and then you can start to imagine what it would look and feel like to get to the next stage of midlife. What would that feel like? What would it look like? How can you get there? And obviously, I am your tour guide for the whole thing, so I will hold your hand and make sure that you get the step-by-step practical pieces, and then you go off and apply them and practice them and see what happens. All right, so so if you have not done so yet, I would love it if you could share in the comments your current stage of midlife. Remember, this is not a comparing yourself. There's nothing scary about this. This is you just getting a baseline and being absolutely honest about where you currently stand. Definitely tug of war between 1 and 2. I'm at stage 2, although sometimes I slide back into stage 1. Yep, this is good. This is all good. My baseline is between 1 and 2. Julie says 2. Laurel is between a 3.5. Oh, my overachieving friend Laurel. I love it. Between 2 and 3. I'm mostly 2, but I think sometimes I go back to 1. I need to get clearer on 3, 2, working to 3, between 1 and 2. I just lost my job that I hated, so I would say 2. Nice, between 1 and 2. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Between 1 and 2, Steph says 3 and 4. Hey, Stephanie V. Deb, is it a 1.5? CK is stuck at 1. Perfect, perfect. This is you getting honest about where you currently stand so we can start to make change, start to make movement. I think between a 3 and a 4, Sharon. Jill also between 3 and 4. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So inside of your 6 simple steps, we just literally did step 1. Whoopsie. Multitasking. No. We just looked at stage 1, or step 1, sorry. You looked at those 5 stages of midlife. And so then the next tasks are about defining your daily behaviors. And this is quite literal. I want you to, not right now, mentally walk through your day and list out your typical behaviors. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. And then, because you'll start to recognize that those small day-to-day decisions have a really powerful, big impact. And we are creatures of habit, and we do live by default. So what I want you to do is start to get clear and honest with yourself. What are your typical behaviors? And then naturally, the next step and the next baby step is for you to go through that list and identify the keepers. What are the keepers? So what you want to do is ask yourself, what's serving me and what isn't? And so once you start to identify what's serving you, you obviously want to do more of that, keep that, and then the things that are no longer serving you or that are keeping you small and stuck, you want to eliminate it or reduce it or delegate it, however that works for you. I told you earlier when I lived in the Caribbean, drank my face off, but I did that for decades. I was at the bar for a long time, and I stopped drinking alcohol hard and fast. Well, actually, the last time I stopped drinking alcohol, I've had sticker charts. I have bribed myself winning prizes to stop drinking alcohol, or I'll say I want a 2-drink maximum. I have not been gifted with moderation. That's not my jam. So the last time I drank alcohol was October 2017, and it was the smartest thing I've ever done, ever. And so for me, I know that that's something that kept me small and stuck and doing things that I didn't want to be doing. All the things that come along with being out at the bar all the time. And so the other thing that I did is I started looking at alcohol as low vibration, which it is. So instead of naming it as a social thing or going out with friends Friday afternoon, whatever it was, Tuesday afternoon, whatever it was, I needed to start looking at alcohol as a vibrational thing, and that it was low vibe and it wasn't serving me. And if I wanted that extraordinary life, moving up the emotional scale, having a more powerful emotional state, then I needed to get rid of the things that were toxic. All right, next step, take small actions, right? Once you get clear about what your typical days are, what you're gonna do more of and less of, you want to make sure that you're doing the things. What do you wanna do more of? What do you wanna do less of? I have a puppy who's over there sleeping, Miss Tootsie. She just turned 3. I walk all the time now because Tootsie needs a walk. So that's something that when I walk, I love to be in nature. I love the fresh air. I love the sunshine. She is happy. And then she comes home and she's tired and she naps and she's fit. She's a fit dog. So to me, that's stuff I want to do more of. The less of, easy stuff. Less social media scrolling. That's mine, right? Less, I like to sleep hygiene. I like to turn all electronics off, right? My phone, my laptop, an hour before going to bed. I don't want to scroll in bed. I want the lights off at 10 p.m. My sleep hygiene is very important because it sets the tone for tomorrow, whenever tomorrow is. Tomorrow is an ongoing thing. And then step 5 of the 6 simple steps, define your dream. This is, you can follow along. These are all following the 5 stages of midlife. So when you start to define your dream, what do you want? Look beyond your current conditions and circumstances. Look outside your hula hoop. Ask the bigger questions. Shift to solutions. What is it that you would love? And I ask the same questions with, again, clients in my membership when I'm speaking at live events. Magic wand. So if I'm sprinkling fairy dust on you right now, what would you love? Unlimited. Unlimited. What is your dream come true image of your extraordinary life? There are 4 big arenas of our human existence, right? Or modern day existence. Your relationships, your health, your financial freedom, and your career. When you start to think about your relationships, dream come true. What is your dream come true image of relationships? With yourself, getting rid of that itty bitty shitty committee, your partner or spouse, family, friends, your community, the earth, God. What do those relationships look and feel like? Naturally, some you might want to repair, you might want to heal, you might want to eliminate, you might want to initiate. What do those relationships look like? About your health, dream come true image of your health, your physical health, emotional health, mental health, spiritual health. Start to define that dream. What do you want it to look like? Your financial freedom. How much money do you want to earn, save, spend, give away? Don't look inside of that, what's in your immediate vision, because then you're going to look at your bank statement and say, well, these are my only options. Do you know how many trillions of freaking dollars there are on this planet? If you're looking at what you own only in this very moment, that's the stuff that's going to keep you small and stuck. Unlimited, unlimited. And then finally, your career. What is it that gives you passion and meaning and purpose? And it might be an actual paid gig, 9 to 5. It might be your role in your family, your role in your community. It might be a hobby. There's all sorts of ways that you can define career. So that's the step 5, the define your dream. So you want to get really clear and specific. What do you want? What would you love? And I know we just talked about the stages of midlife. So if you feel like you're in stage 1 and 2, it might feel impossible to start dreaming because you just need to get through the day. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. But this is flirting with the edges of your comfort zone. This is about thinking beyond what you've known. And it's not necessarily joyful and comfortable when you're struggling, but it is something that you do want to start to consider. And then finally, step 6 simple steps. This is a pretty simple one. Find a community. If you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with and you want to be with people of increase and be a person of increase, find your community. And this is my invitation for you tonight. Join the membership, Midlife Redefine. This is all about women at a pivot point. And the women inside the membership community know from their very core that what I've been doing and thinking and feeling is no longer working, and I am ready to make shifts and changes. I am the guide, you are the tribe. Like, this is us working together so that we can get out of those stage 1 and 2s. You can slip back there, sure, but you don't want to live there. So joining the community is the thing that we're talking about right now. So you can join right now if you want. We can come back to it, but I do want to give you a little bit of information about the membership community. I have a slide for this. Sit tight, sister. Yeah, all right. Okay, so inside Midlife Redefine, I have all sorts of opportunities to spotlight members. So actually, before I even get there, I jumped the gun. Big picture, inside the membership, I offer different series, and then the series might be about play, creating extraordinary relationships, your daily habits and routines, moving up the emotional scale, identifying your values, setting healthy boundaries. There are so many series in there. And in the series, I deliver weekly content within that theme. And I am uptight. I apologize, and it's my blessing and my curse. You will get an email delivered to your inbox every Monday morning at 10 a.m. with a link to inside our membership community, which is not on Facebook, which is on housed in a different platform. So then you will go in, read, watch, listen, do the activity, and then you report back to the bigger community what it was like. But in addition to the content, there is a fabulous, fabulous community of women who are there. And so what I like to do is to interview actual members in our membership. So Linda is one of my, I don't have favorites. Okay, I do. Linda is one of my favorite humans on the planet. And I did an interview with her just the other day, and Linda talked in the membership about her journey. And when I first met her 4 years ago, she came to one of my live 5-week workshops at the time. And she had just ended, divorced from a very controlling marriage, 25 years, very controlling marriage. And the thought of her even being able to leave the house at night to come to my workshop was already liberating. And to think that she had her own big dreams and goals that she just had to dismiss for all of those years, that she was finally able to look at. So Linda shared her beautiful story. And one of her big dreams and goals was to hike all of New Hampshire's 4,000-foot mountains. There are 48 of them. And then her goal after she hiked the 48 4,000 footers was to write a book about it. And do you know what she did? She finished hiking all of the peaks, and the first draft of her book is done. So Linda, she's a member in the community. She shares her beautiful journey about where she was to where she is. I mean, talk about the success path, right? Talk about those stages of midlife. She was at stage one for a very long time, but now she is thriving, and she's fun, and she's hilarious, like serious comic relief. I have pre-bought her book. I cannot wait for this thing to come out. Another opportunity, we do member spotlights. Here's Jenny. She's from Howard, Ohio. And so we do fun little interviews so that you can start to get to know your fellow members, right? You want to be sharing your time and attention with people of increase. And then outside of the membership, oh, it's the lovely Karen Kenny. She is the host of this webinar. She kicked us off at the very beginning. Karen is not a member of the membership. However, she is at stage 5, aligned, the power of alignment. And she is one of the powerful guides that I also interviewed inside of our membership. And what she's talking about is forgiveness. I would, and there she is. Oh, there she is now. We do all sorts of interviews with people in the membership and outside of the membership. And when Karen shares her story of forgiveness, it is no joke. There is nothing light about it. You can check her out after this webinar for sure. And so this is my invitation to you right now, is that I would love it if you would consider joining this fabulous community of women. So Midlife Redefine is the membership community that I've been referencing this whole entire time. There's 2 levels of membership, general membership and VIP. You can see that in both there's weekly content, a supportive tribe of women, monthly community calls, member-led activities and spotlights, and then interviews with aligned guides. Everybody has access to that. You can pay monthly or an annual membership. There's also the VIP membership, which is everything plus a 90-minute deep dive coaching call with me, and monthly VIP group coaching and hot seats. Hot seats. So we're gonna pick a VIP and we're gonna deep dive coaching with them. And when I talk about even the individual 90-minute deep dive coaching call with me, I am not so much interested in your backstory. I'm not so much interested in why you're stuck or feeling small. It is going to be the most productive 90 minutes you have had, because I want to help move you and shift you to the most powerful direction immediately. Even though I do talk woo-woo life coaching, I'm much more interested in practical things that you can implement immediately. And then finally, free gift, because I love free gifts. I have a beautiful deck of cards that I created. And if you decide to be an annual member, I am going to put it in the snail mail. Hello. There's 26 cards in the deck. They're all discussion questions, illustrated by my favorite local artists, Stacy Lucas in Ashland, New Hampshire. They are just magnificent. I mean, just magnificent. I don't want to show you them all now. Although you can use them as journal prompts. You can use them as discussion questions. You can hand them out individually. They are beautiful. So if you decide to be an annual member, I will pop those in the mail to you tomorrow with all sorts of goodies and handwritten note and like glitter and, well, not real glitter, imaginary, energetic glitter. So anyway, you can register at emilyclementlifecoach.com. midlife redefine. You'll find it as soon as you go to my website. The link is it's all over the place. It's in the chat. It's in the Facebook group. It's on my website, emilyclementlifecoach.com. And I want to caution you, I am a one-woman show. I cannot keep enrollment open. It is closing hard and fast at midnight on Thursday, and it's non-negotiable. My brain, my IP brain, can do one really good thing at a time, and that's it. So right now I am in open enrollment period. You are invited to join this membership community until Thursday at midnight, although if it's already on your heart, do it right now. And then we will get this party started next Monday. Whole new group of people. It is going to be energizing and fun. People of increase, asking better questions, improving your emotional state, shifting from living a life by default to a life by design, shifting from your problems to your solutions, owning your power instead of giving it away. All the things that we've been talking about tonight. So I would love it for you to join, women, ladies, and to be clear, because my mother always says, don't forget to tell them, midlife is not an age. So midlife is not an age. Midlife is when you know that what you've been doing and thinking and feeling is no longer working and you are ready to pivot. So if you are 22 years old and you have no idea what you're doing with your life, or you have been retired for several years and you have no idea what you're doing, what you want to surround yourself with all the people that this is for you. This is for you, and it is going to be beautiful and powerful and magnificent, and I am thrilled that you are going to be joining this community. So here we are back with KK, and what I would like to do is answer some questions that you've been reading in the comments all along.
Okay, so 2 things as we talked about our humanness and the technological experience. So apparently when I leave and come back, I now cannot see any of the chat that existed before me. However, I will say this. I just asked the folks, do you have any questions? And it looks like they're coming in. But I will say this. I was hanging out over in the Facebook group watching. And a few people there, there were a bunch of people there, and they were commenting along. So I just wanted to share a couple of things with you that might also, one of the women was saying that she was talking about it, she was saying, yes, more adventure, please, like getting out of that rut. Somebody else said, oh, I'm so intrigued by learning more about my intuition. So that was fantastic. Somebody else said, yeah, staying focused on your own goals can be so tricky for moms. That can be really hard. Somebody else said, all those fears you listed, those 4 fears, those really resonated. Somebody else said, with a tear emoji, a cry emoji, I feel like I'm stuck in one. And then somebody else said, yeah, I just made a big decision and now I'm feeling guilty about it. And then mostly everybody said I'm either between 1 and 2 or I'm between 3 and 4. So that's the feedback there. But over here in the chat, you might have to scroll back yourself, but I can report that Dee just asked, are you going to be doing a 5-week course online anytime soon?
Nope.
Oh.
But I do appreciate that, Dee.
Okay, go ahead.
So much of the content that I did in that 5-week workshop all those years ago is integrated into Midlife Redefine. So that is really how it works, right? And
yeah. And let me just speak on behalf as somebody who not only has a membership, but is participating in several memberships. Here's the beauty about memberships. If you're somebody who's already familiar with that 5-week courses and things like that, those 5-week online things, those take you very fast, very deep. But the beauty of memberships, you guys, is that you get to integrate and implement, so you continue to grow and you have the support of an amazing leader and a community to support you. So it goes above and beyond, and be able to take that stuff that you are already familiar with and get to kind of walk along beside other people, as you call them, people of increase.
Right.
There's nothing like that.
No, there's nothing like that. So I can see other questions. So Barbara, you're asking for the 4 fears. Every time I do this in a live event, people are like, hey, what are the 4 fears again? Like, fear of not getting what you want, fear of losing what you have, fear of other people's opinions, and fear of being found out, which is also called imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not really a life coach. I'm just an unemployed psych major who got lucky. Like, oh, I hope they don't find out. And
All
then
right.
Megan is asking, how long does the Midlife Redefine last? 1 year with a question mark? Well, it's a membership, so you can enroll now, and then when you feel like you have redefined your midlife, you can cancel your membership. So
Well, it's kind of like, think of it like a Netflix. Where does
Netflix
ever run out? I mean, you keep going and you keep getting great downloads and you get to keep continuing to grow and experience, right?
Right. So my content, I'm only ever a few weeks ahead because I need to know where my people are. So if like I'm reading the comments while I was multitasking, that a lot of people were saying they're at stages 1 and 2. So you better believe we're going to be doing a lot of activities that support moving you out of feeling resentful, disappointed, frustrated, comparing yourself to other people. That's where we're going to spend our time and attention. If you were all Buddhist monks, we probably wouldn't do that, because you would have already been into a place of enlightenment. So it's not me delivering curriculum. It's about me facilitating this beautiful, beautiful group of women. I can hear you and I can see you. And I want to make sure that whatever we're doing together, you're implementing and you're seeing the changes. Because naturally, I want you to stay. Because I have fear of other people's opinions. I get like all insecure, like, oh, why are you leaving? So it is all for it. So Karen just put the link for the membership that you can join right now. Other questions? Sorry.
You're doing great.
Oh, awesome. Wendy wrote, she was talking about her evening habits. Now that the gym is open again, she's putting her clothes out the night before. No excuses. That's it. That's the power of intention right there. I mean, that's it. It's magnificent. So the other questions that I get all the time, actually, maybe it's not even a question. It's I want to join your membership, but I don't have time. I'm not judging that, sure. But I want to be super clear. Every human on this planet has been gifted with 24 hours a day. Time management is bullshit. It is value management. What do you value? That becomes a priority. So for me, I gave the example of scrolling through social media. Like sometimes I can't stop and I'm like, I hate this. Why am I still here? Then I'm obviously valuing social media scrolling at that very moment. So instead, I know I want to invest in myself. I know I want to invest in myself. So for you thinking about, I don't have the time. You do have the time. We all have the exact, down to the second, we all have the exact same amount of time. But if you want to dedicate time and attention to, for, and with yourself, then that's where you're going to see the real transformation. And the other piece to that, I don't want to add to your plate ever. I want to pull out the toxic nonsense that has been keeping you small and stuck. So it's not about, doing more. It's about doing less, but getting clear about what is the less that you're doing less of, so that when you're in alignment, you're saying like, oh, I'm going out for supper with Karen, Kenny tonight. We're going to meet for dinner. It's going to be so much fun. And I already know that's a good use of my time. But if I have a friend who's just sort of dead weight and toxic and always complaining and loves to gossip and is never on time and drinks until last call and I feel stuck and obligated to stay, that's not a good use of my time. Those are friendships I'm not going to maintain. So I don't have time for a membership. It's not really about adding to your plate. It's about getting clear about your values so that you're making smart decisions about where you are spending your time.
That is so great. Another question has just come in from Dee, and she wants to know if the groups are divided into what stage group the members are in.
That's a great question, Dee. Yes and no. No, it's one big general population of people, but what you're going to do, depending on what stage you're on, you're just going to do a deeper dive for someone, and if someone is beyond that, they might skim it. Does that make sense? So if we're learning a new recipe, which we're not doing any sort of cooking, if you've been cooking your whole life, then you can put it together and carry on pretty quickly. But someone who's never been to a supermarket or opened the oven, it's just going to take a lot longer. But all of us are going to be introduced to the same thing at the same pace, but your level of engagement will be relevant to where you need that level of engagement to be. that make sense, Dee? I hope so. Plus, there's so many other things. Like, so I talked about the content, and then I talked about member interviews and aligned guide interviews. But then we have a whole community of women who are not talking about the content or any of the extra bonuses that I'm giving you all the time. But like one woman, she recently posted in our group, and she said, I need help here. I have young adult children who, one just graduated from high school, so he hasn't left. But the older boy has been off on his own, and now he's home. And she asked, what do I do? Am I still the mom cooking and cleaning and asking about their day, or are they adults now? And then how do I transition from them being small children to adult children? And then people in the membership were sharing and sharing and sharing, like, oh gosh, yeah, cut that off, because I have 30-something-year-old children who come back as children, and I'm looking for peers now, like, you know, cut them off now. Like, and so it's just interesting. And another woman wrote how she has young children and a full-time job, and she really wants connection with other women, and she's like, doesn't know how to make friends anymore, because they were college friends and they were work friends, and now she's got a family. So she feels like, how do I balance having healthy girlfriend relationships, whether it's watching Netflix or going out for dinner or whatever it is, with her family and that time and attention. So there's all sorts of conversations happening within the membership at the same time that has nothing to do with the content.
You see that new question from LD Decudo, I think it is?
Do you offer something along the lines of installments, 2 or 3, to pay the $1,000? Generally, if it's a monthly or annual, but I am me. And I would be happy to have that conversation with you offline if you are interested, if you are going to make that commitment. But if you're going to make that commitment, then you're making the commitment. It'll be a pretty tight window.
Fantastic. Were there any really great? Oh, here we go. It says, you mentioned Jim Marison as a good book. Can you please spell his name? Did you mention a book that somebody wrote? Oh, was it about the,
book, I think Jim Rohn. Oh, Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. Jim Rohn.
Write it here.
All right. So you've been unemployed since March. See, this is the beauty of having a conversation. I appreciate that. I think that's your first initial and your last name. Yeah, Jim Rohn. Yes, thank you. Yes, perfect. Jim Rohn was actually Tony Robbins' first mentor when he was a kid. And I am a Tony Robbins student, and now I'm crewing at his live events. And so I have been to so many live Tony Robbins events, I could drink this information. So to me, it feels like when I'm at live events, when I'm surrounded by his people, it's all about level up, level up, level up. It's not about problems, it's about solutions, all the things. So yes, awesome.
Well, if people are willing, since I wasn't able to see a lot of the comments, were people sharing their big takeaways and their ahas and the value that they got from the webinar tonight and the things that they learned?
Yes. Although yep.
Sorry to make you scroll and do.
Well, it's tricky. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? If you are still on this webinar, I am going to pull up the stay on bonus with instructions for you, and I'm going to get you your bonus, sisters. So here we are, Midlife Redefine. You can see the general membership and the VIP membership. I'd grab an annual membership, because making that commitment to yourself is a big deal, but then you get a free gift, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
I'm a thrifty Yankee, period, the end. Here we are in question and answer. Here is the stay on bonus, your free digital course. Right now, I want you are still live, because we're going to be doing the replay tomorrow, and they're not live, so I'm going to cut this whole end of this presentation off. Email me, emily@emilyclementlifecoach.com, and tell me, girl, I'm ready to claim that free gift, and I will send you that digital course as quickly as a one-woman show can send it to you.
And I just put it in the box too. Somebody just wants to cut and paste it. Dee has a question. If you do private one-to-one Zoom meetings?
I do. Yes. I have a lot of individual clients that is separate from the membership, although a lot of the members also I work with individually. So yeah, I have coaching packages, and those coaching packages, we can have a conversation about that, or you can check it out on my website too. But yes, I definitely work with individual clients.
And she wants to know, should she email you at the same email? It sounds like if she's
Yes.
interested in that. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Somebody said one of their biggest takeaways was the I'm the thermostat. They really love
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. If you want to set the climate instead of showing up and seeing what's going on and giving away your power to whatever's happening around you.
Yeah, and I just want to encourage folks, because I know a lot of times, even if you're just online, some people, if they're introverted or they're shy or they don't like to do things publicly, right? I'm like, this is if you have a question, now is the perfect time to ask while you have like one-to-one, like take a moment and just really think. So don't push this off. Like, don't wait. That, like, the ego will try to sabotage like so bad. So if you're curious, I always say this, like, look, if it's calling to your hat right now, if it's piqued your curiosity, if you got a gut instinct that you're like, yeah, man, I could really use a supportive community of incredible women, please don't wait. Take the time right now and ask the question. It says, Sharon says, I deal with fear. My favorite was love instead of fear. That really spoke to me.
Absolutely. And I tend to think of things linear like that anyway, too, that the spectrum, that fear is on one end and love is on the other. Every decision we make is coming from one of those places. Mm-hmm. Always. Oh, and the hula hoop. Dee likes the hula hoop. I love the hula hoop. I accidentally used that analogy at one of my early public speaking gigs, and it stuck. Is that comfort zone. Inside your hula hoop is your comfort zone. But the rest of the world is out there. So I would say,
you got a couple of new comments.
Oh, perfect.
I'm nearing being a single empty nester. At times I feel excited about what's to come, and other times I'm not sure how I'm going to handle life on my own.
Melissa, how do you want to handle life on your own? What will it look like? Wendy. You know, I mean, so Melissa, that's like a legitimate, you know, I think, what is it that enthusiasm and anxiety is the same like physical reaction in your body. It's just your mental thinking. So I love another analogy is that ticking up the roller coaster, although apparently they don't do that anymore. Click, 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 click. And you know you're safe. You know you're in the cart. You've got your arms, but you don't know what's on the other side. And you know it's thrilling, and you know it's exciting. And to me, the roller coaster is a perfect analogy, because some people want to throw up and they're terrified and can't even watch it from the parking lot, and other people love the thrill of it. So if you frame that, Melissa, as far as like being a single empty nester, what if it were possible to be excited about it, what would it feel like? Or if it were possible to be enthusiastic about the next stage, what might you do? If it were possible to find resources or people, what would you do? Like, what would be some of the brainstorming, creative problem solving that you could start to think about now?
Yes, she said, I'd love to retire and travel and spend time with my family. That's what Melissa said.
Oh, nice. Sorry, I can't read that fast. Thank you, Carrie.
No, it's okay. I mean, that's what I'm here for, to be helpful. And then Carrie said, I need to shift from the problems of my life to focus on the solutions. And that was something that really interested her. And so Carrie, that's what I'm saying. Like, look, I always say no pressure. I'm just here, but I can just tell you that being in a membership, it's like, you know, it's like, I kind of talk about it like if you're trying to go against the conditioning of your own life, if you're trying, it's like salmon that are swimming upstream, going against conditioning. You want to have really strong swimmers next to you. And that's what a great membership and, again, a good leader can provide. So it's really important. And Sharon is saying, I need to manifest the abundance for this. That might be a way of saying to get resources to pay for it or whatever.
Right.
She's interested. Yes.
Sure. If it were possible. You know, like the truth is, I don't know, did you see on the news that Jeff Bezos, Amazon, is a trillionaire? Like, the money exists. You know, like I just feel like we just have such a scarcity and lack, and so much of that is our conditioning from childhood.
Oh, so
Money, like
yes.
money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. There's never enough. We can't afford that, you know, whatever. And it's like, oh no, it's just too bad that we always come, well, not always, we generally come from that place of scarcity and lack. So get creative. If it were possible, the truth is, you know, then and ask a different question.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the great things about having a leader like you is that, you know, trying to undo that conditioned thinking. You mean
Right.
you need constant reminders, right? You need constant reminders. That's another great thing about being in a membership and like, again, being alongside other people who are interested in this kind of change in work is that they're going to be able to remind you like, oh yeah, I need to reframe that. Like how many times we know, I mean, as somebody who's 51, I know how long it takes to undo a conditioned thought. So
Right.
it's really, really a powerful thing. So we told them about the stay on bonus. I just want to see, does anybody else have any other questions? Do you need any of the links? What can we do? Or how can I help you guys to help M?
Yeah.
How can I help you to help
So
her?
D, thanks for the great energy and vibes for me and Karen. I tried to click on the, okay, hold on, I can't. Does the group have accountability? The group is accountability. The membership community is accountability. So we need to, but you need to be an active participant. And I think that this is where, like anything, we think by signing up, now I've done the work. No, you sign up and then you do the work. My perfect example is the years and years and years I joined Weight Watchers. Like, how come I'm not losing any weight? I pay for it. And it's like, well, that's not really enough. So if you join Midlife Redefine, hopefully you'll do that right now, is that you join the membership and then there's a phenomenal group of women who we're all doing our own things. We all have different ideas about what that power of alignment looks like and that we can hold each other accountable and support each other. But it's not by hoping that somebody does the heavy lifting for you. It's about initiating all the things that you desire for yourself, you give freely to others.
Amen. So
All right.
Carrie, I wasn't sure which link in the email you meant, but just in case you meant the one for the membership directly, I just posted it again for you, sweetheart.
Perfect. Perfect.
Does the membership, Stephanie wants to know, require a social media account because she's not on social media by design?
Amen. The entire membership is housed on a platform called Teachable. However, I also have a Facebook closed private lockdown Facebook group because come to find out, people are more likely to scroll through Facebook than they are Teachable. So you do not need a social media account to be a member of Midlife Redefine, but a lot of the conversation does happen on Facebook in our closed group. But I post everything in Teachable. You don't need social media for sure.
Yeah, so that's like the resources are available to everybody in Teachable, so you wouldn't need to go on Facebook. However, if you want the community aspect, conversation, sisterhood, all that, you would get that in the private, very private Facebook group.
Right, right. And there is options to comment also in Teachable,
Perfect.
but it tends to be that people comment on Facebook.
Yes. Okay, guys, any other final questions for Emily? Any things that will help you to?
Yeah, I will say that I teach what I need to learn, right? I am alongside you. There is nothing about me that is head and shoulders above. I am in my own Midlife Redefine. You've been following this story. I sold my house and then decided to be a snowbird. And so I'm in Fort Myers. I'm a Laconia, New Hampshire, loud and proud girl. And I got to Fort Myers, Florida in March after a month in Charleston, South Carolina. And I was just going to spend a few weeks or months down south and then head back north. And then coronavirus hit and family friends took me in and were graciously accepting for me to stay with them until it was clear when it was safe to travel again. And I've been here for 4 months. So I am doing my own Midlife Redefine. I'm heading back to New Hampshire next week, but I don't have a home. You know, I'm going to my parents' house and I'm just going to do the next right thing and the next right thing. And one of my fun challenges, games that I'm playing with myself is I'm trying to get out of my head and drop into my heart and just pay attention to intuitively what is the next right thing. Because my logical brain wants to look at real estate and make an offer and start to buy living room furniture. But it's like, no, my logical brain needs to shush. I want to just pay attention to my intuition. Where am I being called? What feels best to me? And that I don't know where that is. I mean, I just don't know. So I'm just going to do the next right thing. So when I talk about midlife redefine, I'm in the, well, not really trenches. I'm in the balcony with you, right? This is a magnificent opportunity and time for all of us to get clear about who we are as we show up for this next stage of our life. Between the last massive global, among the massive global events that have happened in March, April, May, June, like we are transitioning to something very new and extraordinarily different. You want to show up with intention. You want to show up as your best self, clear about who you are, clear about what you value, being, you know, using your time and resources and effort and energy wisely. So if you've got this beautiful tribe of women that can support you and love you and hold you accountable, it's great. It's great. So join Midlife Redefine, join this phenomenal community, and you will absolutely be pleased that you did, because we are all in this together and we are working toward our own magic and miracles and joy. So I look forward to having you in the membership. And I want to thank a huge thank you to Karen Kenny for hosting this webinar this evening. She's so good.
It's my pleasure. It was my pleasure to be here. And you guys, thank you all so much for sticking around to the end. Make sure you go claim that stay on bonus. And Emily will be picking the winners for the chat, sharing your ahas and all that stuff. And don't forget, so is there a deadline again? Can you repeat the deadline for joining when the doors close? Doors close hard and fast at midnight on Thursday, July 2nd. So you want to join now, and then it's a membership, right? I mean, and I will reopen doors months from now, because this is what I'm doing right now. I'm opening enrollment. I want to get as many people who are interested and engaged in supporting and loving and growth and personal development, so that we can, you know, water rises to its own level. So if we can be that person of increase. But then after Thursday at midnight, you're done. You're going to have to wait until the fall. And she sticks to it, you guys. So you can't secret squirrel her a text message or try to get in a backdoor friend deal. That's it. So don't wait. And I always say to people, why delay your dreams? Why delay your happiness? Why delay stepping into your power, right? So get it done by Thursday evening. Don't delay. Thank you guys so much. And it's been a pleasure, Emily. So fantastic. Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Have a beautiful night, all of the women who have joined us for this webinar. And I look forward to seeing you inside the membership, Midlife Redefine. Sign up now. Get your butt in there. We got some magic and miracles to perform. Yeah.